the lovely. Oh,
Scarlet Rebelia. I don't know if it caught all of that because I didn't see the live symbol, but it's
okay.
okay. It's okay.
So this is Melody Levy, and today's topic is Truth Serum for the Soul. Basically, what that is just some inspirational, motivational, um, authentic quotes that help you get through some of life's challenges, or sometimes we'll have moments where it's like, okay, we can live in our doubt, or we're just so excited, and it's just you want something inspirational, you need some momentum. And what better way than, quotes? It's like something that you see visually, you can connect with, and it's like a reminder. It's like, oh yeah. Because I truly believe that our soul actually knows already that these words are truth and that everything that we do have is embedded within us. And it's just like relearning things again or re-recognizing those things. And so that's what's so awesome about quotes is it helps you to do that. And yeah, do you have any insights on quotes or truth, Sarah?
Well, like, inspiration comes in so many different forms. I mean, like, quotes is definitely a really great form of inspiration. And the thing I love about quotes is that these are actually moments in time. They're not just quotes of words. These are actually specific moments in time where a person put on a piece of paper or said something out loud that somebody wrote down and quoted later. And it was those specific times in different people's lives that even relate to what you're feeling today presently. You weren't there maybe necessarily when that quote was written or made, but it'll still resonate to your soul as if that person has spoke it directly to you. And that's the thing I really love about inspiration is you can get it from anywhere. And it's
Mm-hmm.
not judgmental and it's not biased. It's very, I mean, there are quotes that are judgmental and biased, but I mean, inspirational quotes can take you to different places and make you feel different things. And like, it's kind of amazing. Like one quote that like I absolutely love, and it just says so much without only with being super short, and it's by Ralph Waldo Emerson, and it's what lies behind you and what lies in front of you pales in comparison to what lies inside of you. And I was just like, wow, right? Because you think about it, your past and your future, it's really all determined from what's actually inside of you. But one of the things that like I like to think about all the time is that my past helped shape who I am today, but who I am today will shape who I am in the future as well. So I mean, it's all interconnected, but it really is what's inside of you that determines your outcome every step of way. It's pretty. That's it's pretty deep stuff. Um, I have like tons and tons and tons of quotes that I just like. I was telling Melody like I'm a quote collector because I just like just looking at those things, and it, like she was saying, it's kind of like these little pop-up reminders of different things, and it can make you feel a certain way. I mean, you can Google any type of quote, love quotes, happy quotes, sad quotes, I miss you quotes, I love you quotes, anything. And then like, you'll always see that one that just kind of stands out to you a little bit more than another one. Like, let me see. Um, by this one is by Mary Kay, the lady who made that cosmetic line. It's don't limit yourself. Many people limit themselves to what they think they can do. You can go as far as your mind lets you. What you believe, remember, you can achieve. Which is completely true because your mind is so powerful that anything you really, really, really want to do, you can absolutely do it. If you really, really, really want to be successful, then do exactly that. Become successful. A lot of people don't understand that they have so much ready to bloom and develop inside of them that, hey, maybe one day I may be saying talking about a personal quote that you said. You know, you never know how far your reaches are until you really put yourself out there and become the person that you were truly intended to be. You know, one of the things that I like to do to try and stay positive is to look at things that are positive. And then what better way to look at positivity than looking at other people's inspirational quotes. And then, of course, you look up inspirational quotes if you're looking for inspiration. If you want to feel sad, go look up sad quotes, because there's tons of those too. Because there was a moment in my life where I'm not going to lie, I connected with sad. And that's the only thing I wanted to feel was sad. And I went down like this road of just sheer sadness, loneliness, pain. You know, have you ever felt like that before? I mean, I used to punish myself in so many different ways, and you know, self-loathing and just liking that feeling of staying there. Um, I used to do that so often. And looking back on it now, right, you know, look behind you and you see where you've come from, see where you are standing today, you can definitely know that you have something to look forward to. Because who you were yesterday does not mean that's going to be who you are tomorrow if you decide today to change, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, Tony Robbins said, it is in your moments of decision that your destiny is shaped. Because when you make those decisions to step outside of your comfort zone, or if you make the decisions that you're not going to be addicted to to something anymore, if you make the decision that you're going to go ahead and click the link below this video and get started working with us in our business, those are the decisions that will shape your destiny, that will change your future into one that you possibly could make it whatever you want it to be, because your dreams really have no boundaries unless you put them on there. Like me and Melody, we had an adventure the other day, getting a little sidetracked here, but we had an adventure actually last night, right? Was it last
Mm-hmm.
night? Yeah, last night. Last night was the harvest supermoon, or super harvest moon. Super harvest moon, and Melody felt the need to go to the beach, and we were like, let's go to the beach. We had some bumps in between on our way to get to the beach, but
This will be another video.
um once we got there, we kind of just sat and really just took everything in, and, you know, just watched, you know, the water come up onto the shore, and we looked up into the sky, and the moon was beautiful and perfect, and it just shined down on us like, you know, just rays of heaven touching the land, and it was beautiful and breathtaking. And we were looking up, and you know, sometimes me and Melody are challenged with really believing in ourselves and understanding how great we are. And I had, you know, sometimes when my creative juices start flowing, all kinds of stuff just starts falling out of my mouth, and it's pretty remarkable, I'm not going to lie. I get thoroughly impressed with myself sometimes. And I looked up at the sky, and I told her, I was like, look at the sky, Melody. Do you see any edges to that? It's limitless, just like our potential, just like our dreams. There is no real boundaries on it, because there are none. We live in a world of abundance. You
Mm-hmm.
know, there's so much that we can do with our lives, and most people decide not to do anything. They decide that, you know, working a 9 to 5 job and barely seeing their family, and you know, or barely having time for themselves, or being stressed out all the time, or working 12, 10, 14 hours in a day and just feeling dead all the time, that's okay. And sometimes it's not. Sometimes you have to stand up for yourself and choose you. You know, sometimes you just have to choose those higher thoughts that tell you you're better than this. Because a lot of people get knocked down, and that's where inspirational quotes sometimes can really just snap you out of that. You know, Napoleon Hill said a really good one. Cherish your visions and your dreams as they are the children of your soul, the blueprints of your ultimate achievements. And people don't really think that it's really a plan. Like, you don't really think about your dreams being an actual plan because it's not feasible or it doesn't make any sense. The only person or the only people, well, people around you can have that kind of influence, but the only true person who decided that those things aren't possible is yourself. You know, Melody was telling, and I think she might bring that quote up. If I'm not mistaken, it was one by Audrey Hepburn, but I'll let you say that one. Um, just talking about possibilities in life, and I really, really, really love when you look at a quote and it just goes, oh, yeah. And then another one from Tony Robbins is like, if you want to look up motivational quotes, look up Tony Robbins motivational quotes. Dude, you can write down for days Tony Robbins quotes, because that guy is a phenom. He is amazing. Like, one of the other ones is, we can change our lives. We can do, have, and be exactly what we wish. Because anything you want, if you want it bad enough, you can will it into reality, as long as you're willing to take the steps to get there. So you
Mm-hmm.
can't just, like, okay, me and Melody, we play this game all the time. We're so fired up, but we don't always necessarily take all the steps we need to take to get where we're going. And then we're just like, it's not working. This is not working.
Oh
But
boy.
but when we become responsible and we are accountable for ourselves, and we take that role of responsibility and say, you know what, we did this and we did this, and you know what, it wasn't enough. We understand that now. All we can do is accept it, move forward, and be better, because we know we are.
Mm-hmm.
And straight up, that's what we do. We do that all the time. And it's not going to be easy, because I can tell you what, I love this story, and I want Melody to tell this story, so she'll get back to you. She'll tell you this story. And the story I'm talking about is the I want you to tell them about the first time you were about to post your first um, um, thing about Empowered at Work on your Facebook page. I want
Mm-hmm.
you to share that experience with them. She'll share that with you in a moment, just as long as you stay with us until it's her, until we get to her. Um, but before I switch it over to Melody, there was one that Sylvester Stallone said it, and it was, I believe there's an inner power that makes winners or losers. And the winners are the ones who really listen to the truth of their hearts. And I was like, boop, 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 boop. That hit me right here, because I can't tell you how many years I thought I was a loser. That feeling of sadness, that feeling of loneliness, that feeling of unworthiness. Have you guys ever felt that way, where you just don't even know why you should be here? You don't even know why you should wake up tomorrow. Because I felt that way. And I can be here today and talk about how I'm so inspired to live for my tomorrow, because I was willing to stand up and say, I don't want to feel that way anymore. I don't want that life for me anymore. And I decided to make a change. And making a change is possible for anybody. I mean, I I don't live like a fabulously lavish life or anything like that, but I wake up and I'm alive, and I'm happy to be alive. And I'm so happy that I have something in my life like Empower Network that is building, helping me build my character and really helping me develop me and really helping me see who I really am, because I have made the decision that I will step into my greatness and show it to the world, because the world deserves to know how great I really am. And I'm not going to be selfish with that anymore and keep it to myself and only a few people who I choose to know those things about me.
Hmm.
Everybody deserves to show their greatness to the world. Now it's up to you, all of you out there, whether you decide if you're going to step up into your greatness. And we have a lot of tools and products in Empower Network that help develop those skills. And not to mention that with all of that, all the people that you meet and the support that you get outside of just the products that we have, I can't tell you, like, I've ever been a part of a community of people that are that amazing anywhere. All walks of life, all backgrounds, all financial, backgrounds. I mean, we hang out with six-figure earners, we hang out with millionaires, and nobody really ever thinks that they're better than the other.
Yeah,
It's
we've even hung out with a homeless guy, you know?
We hung out with a homeless guy.
And there's no judgment, which is so amazing, you know? It's wow, like where you can really let your guard down and be vulnerable, you know?
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. It's not even like I literally, if I ever post some inspirational stuff on my Instagram, I always hashtag not your average business, because that is definitely not. If when I think of business, I don't think of what we do every day.
Yeah.
So with that being said, I hand it over to you, Melody.
Yeah. Hello there, lovely people. So, some of my favorite quotes, there's so much, like I said, it just really depends on what you're going through, you know? And I think for myself, I really had to learn how to let go of a lot of things. And it's an interesting thing is when I was hanging out with Scarlett, it's like, yeah, we get all hipped out sometimes, and it was a supermoon, so it's like releasing things and really learning how to let go because I've held down so much and stuffed it all the way down where I didn't allow myself to feel certain things, you know?
That's
And yeah, you know, until really today, like I started, and yesterday, I really started releasing some things,
pulling it out.
you know, and pulling it out, like, you know, and allowing myself to feel not so good sometimes, or to feel bad, or to feel sad, or to feel mad, or to feel angry, you know, because it's like those are yucky feelings. Nobody wants to feel them. Not yucky per se, but they're shitty feelings. They suck,
Hmm.
you know,
But
but
they're
then
real.
just, yeah, exactly. They're real. And so really just experiencing it, allowing yourself to feel it and accept it. And that's actually helped. Like even today, I'll be vulnerable and, you know, who knows who sees this, but I mean, just like my friend, she told me, "Oh yeah, I ran into your ex today, and we were talking about this, and it was all good stuff." And I just got so emotional about it because I don't think I was over a lot of the hurt. You know, I think I cried a lot when we broke up, but like I stuffed it all the way down, like I stuffed everything else I've ever felt in my life. And so to release it and today was such a breakthrough because I was able to cry and be like, you know what? I'm going to allow myself to feel this because I'm releasing and I'm healing, you know? Whereas sometimes it's like I honestly used to think that healing was all about like, oh, I'm getting better and I'm just bam, like, you know, I'm going to get hit with some light and I'm all better now. But no, healing is it's crying. And so to really like let yourself be authentic. And so for me, that's always been something that was quite difficult. And so like a lot of those quotes that helped me to be authentic and because I had a lot of fear and anxiety and so, you know, I'm not going to lie, I still feel those things too. I mean, it's not as strong as it was then, but you know, just really allowing myself that. So like one of the quotes that I like is stars cannot shine without the darkness, you know, and it just takes me back to a time in my life when I was suffering from really bad debilitating anxiety and depression. Like I was housebound, didn't go anywhere, like I was just bummed out, like crying all day long. It was just such a really, really hard time and challenging time for myself. And so I remember that night my family was barbecuing, and I actually wrote it in my blog post. You can check it out. It's melodylevy.com. And I wrote about this quote. And I talked about, this barbecue, and I was just like, looked at the sky, and I was just like, oh, wow, the sky's black. It's dark. I feel like that's my problems. And then there's just a one little tiny, teeny, teeny, teeny little star that I could see. And of course, the stars are always there, and it was just an amazing thing. I just really thought about it, and I was just like, well, there's that tiny little glimmer of hope, and that's all you need sometimes too. And so that was something that kind of helped me to grow and shift from that moment. Whether I realized it or not, it was like slow little movements, but it helped. And I mean, there's just so many great quotes. Like one of my favorite quotes too is Audrey Hepburn, is that, I am possible. She says the very word itself says I'm possible. That's, once again, if you choose yourself, if you choose not to limit yourself, because it's something that we place on ourself, then anything is possible, and I'm just going to read here a couple of quotes, and it's just amazing stuff here. Like, I'm just totally amazed.
Oh, just to edit the quote you just did, the Aubrey Hepburn one, it's actually nothing is impossible. The word itself says I'm possible.
I'm possible. Yeah. Thank you for the correction.
No problem.
Awesome. So this is why I gotta love people like Ska. They got your back.
Yeah, girl. That's one of my favorites too. That's one of my favorites too.
I have her hanging right over there. That quote. I also like, okay, this is like a biblical thing, but I have always loved, God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things that I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. That in itself just speaks volume, to make peace with the things that you need to accept, because, I mean, we can't change everything. Some things are so out of our control. And also to not take things personally, and to know between whether like reality or not reality, whether it's feasible or whether it's not, and that's in itself like a inspirational quote / a little prayer, which is amazing. And sometimes I like doing that. And I like this one too. This is from Albert Einstein, and he says that everybody is a genius, but if you judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, it will live its whole life believing that it's stupid. And I, for one, have compared myself to other people because I didn't really listen to my own voice, even though I am creative and I do have these great, amazing qualities about myself. It's just always, what are they doing? I was so consumed with what they're doing that I didn't really listen to what was going inside. So it's like I'd compare, and I'd be like, well, yeah, that makes sense. I mean, if you're a fish, if I'm myself and I'm trying to model somebody else, of course it's not going to work, because I'm not them and they're not me, and their strengths and my strengths are different. Their weaknesses and my weaknesses are different, And obviously a cat can't survive in a fishbowl. It'll drown. And a fish can't go climb a tree like a cat, play with some yarn outside, it'll die. And so that's been also something that is really reminded me to just focus back on myself, because that's what like listening to your inner truth. And I also like this one because this is something that helps me to be disciplined. And I also do self-defense class and train with my mentor Ron, and he does like Wing Chun Do and all that too. And so he told me, basically what it is, it's life stacking. So we're not just going in for like punches and all that other stuff, but instead like just stacking and perfecting each step at a time, each little thing one by one. So by the time that you do learn the skills and you do learn the techniques, it's it's down to the T. It's targeted. It's clear. You got a clear goal as to where you're going. And so this is from Bruce Lee. I fear not the man who has practiced 10,000 kicks once, but I fear the man who has practiced one kick 10,000 times. I mean, and it's just like being consistent with something, even our business, or just anything in your life, a relationship, um, whatever goal you have, acquiring abundance, like anything in your life. It's like you can do 10,000 things. If you don't perfect one, what good is it? If
We're
it's just,
really good at not doing that.
yeah, so it's like, that's why these kind of quotes and stuff too, like speak to me, that's why some of these are my favorites, because it's like for myself, like really learning discipline. And that's something that I really, I
Me
mean,
too.
not just saying it, but yeah, just really holding on to it and speaking truth, because it reflects, when I practice martial art, or not necessarily martial arts, it's more self-defense, or just with my online business, or just in any relationship that I have, the relationship with myself, because that is actually an important relationship to cultivate. And, I mean, I don't know if you ever read the book, The Four Agreements, but also being impeccable with your word. If you break all these little agreements, of course, you're not going to trust yourself. But if you're consistent, if you keep on going at it, you build trust, you build rapport with yourself, you build rapport with other people. And then a budding and trusting relationship forms. You build confidence, you build that. I mean, same thing if I go train with Ron and when I'm not training with him. I could practice my stance. That's kind of what we do. And if I just keep at it, then I'll improve faster. I'll see faster results. I'll be more happy with myself, because I've actually did what I said I was going to do. And I'll be more confident. And, Bruce Lee, I love him. Who doesn't love some Bruce Lee? And, those are just some of the most amazing quotes. And in regards to compassion, I love this one from Audrey Hepburn. I just love her. She's such a lady. She's so timeless. Oh, I've got books and stuff for days. But for beautiful eyes, look for the good in others. For beautiful lips, speak only words of kindness. And for poise, walk with the knowledge that you are never alone. There's more to that quote. She also talks about, we have two hands, one for, receiving help, and the other for like helping others too. And so it's, quotes is just fill your room. I mean, whatever you're going through, whatever it may be, do that. Post things. Get it up on there. See it, and it's going to change day by day, time by time, And so a lot of the times, I think also Steve Jobs has one too, where he actually talks about, it's like, hey, about his success and not caring what other people think about, because, he's like, well, we're all going to die anyway. And when we die, then what's left, And so that I can correlate with what Scarlett talked about, because for myself, I was always, oh gosh, I have all these people I work in production as a makeup artist, or all these friends and stuff like that too. And for me, just like blending everything together and just learning how to step into my truth and not caring about being liked by this person or being this or being that, because I have a deep fear of abandonment, but instead just being free and I'm learning how to do that, Not
Yeah.
going to lie, I'm still challenged by it, but it's not going to stop me from keep on moving forward, because I have seen some progress, And so with Empower Network and stuff too, just sharing my truth and just putting it out there, because I'm like, oh crap, there's all these
And
people.
not dividing yourself.
Exactly, because that's not a good feeling, because it takes so much energy being this way to this person and this way to that, or, that I'd feel uncomfortable if I was in a group, because I have so many different friends from all different walks of life, and I'm like, this way with this person, this way with that person, not because I'm a fake person, but because it's like, okay, I can connect with you on that level, connect with you on that, but also learning how to let go of the to expect, or that control, like relinquishing the control that's like, oh gosh, okay, so everything's going to come together and this is awkward. It has nothing to do with me. And the same thing goes with your business, like really putting yourself out there. And I know that Empower Network is something that really gave me a whole lot of value. It really helped me to step outside of my comfort zone, and I'm able to talk about this with you, and to really share that part of myself, because it's like I really have changed and I really have shifted from when I first started and I first joined, and it's something. Why should I withhold that? Because I'm afraid of what somebody else is going to think, because maybe they can have their breakthrough. Who knows, And so that moment where I was like, oh God, I'm going to have to share this. Oh my gosh, my heart's like pounding and beating, but I'm like, you know what? And this here comes, insert another quote, where other people's opinions are not going to pay your bills. And I don't know who that one's by, but if you just type something similar like that in Google, and it'll like pop back up. And that's been something it's been amazing. And so
The
learning how
look
to,
on her, my little side note to that was the look on her face was priceless, because it wasn't even just that she was feeling that, she looked like nervous to really just go ahead and type out what she needed to type out and hit that post button. Like, you could see that worry on her face. And I mean, it just really goes to show you like how strong your mind is, because literally all she was doing is writing words down, but her fear of judgment held her back from just doing it right away. But people always do that to themselves. And I mean, one other quote that I was just looking at, like I have this whole gigantic list of quotes, and this one's from Henry Ford, and it says, "Whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right."
you're right. Yep.
Exactly. But I mean, the power of your mind, I mean, it has the ability to completely control the way you think and how fast you react to something too. Because Melody knew she had to do her homework. She knew she had to do this specific task. And she like literally sat there like, hmm, for a little while before she was like, oh my gosh. And then she shook it off and said, F it. Beep, and she did it, and she was just like, it was out there, and literally nothing happened. Nobody said anything. She didn't really get any weirdness from any of her friends or anything like that.
No.
These are all notions we place inside our own head. And don't get me wrong, I was sitting there, and she wasn't there when I was feeling that exact same way, so she couldn't see that look on my face, but I kind of went through the exact same thing. We deny ourselves a lot of the good things in life, because a lot of times we don't really believe we can have them or that we deserve them, but you do.
Yep.
Sorry, that was my little side note.
Yeah, but that's good. So whatever it is, whatever you're going through, there's a quote for every single thing. Choose you, and I mean, we're choosing ourselves too, And maybe the growth is going to be rapid. Maybe it's going to be small. Maybe it's whatever. But like she said, right or wrong, you're right. Good or bad, you're right. And quotes have been there, like Scott was saying in the beginning, from beginningless time. Because each and every single human being goes through challenges, has disappointments, has joys, and has hope. Has fear, has sadness, has that. And why do you think these quotes are so amazingly? Because every single person can relate to them. That tells you something, doesn't it? We're all interconnected. And even for myself, I've never felt such an interconnectedness like when I go to an Empower Network event. So, I mean, if you're looking for something that really, this is something that I never would have done. But I can tell you that it has completely changed and shifted the way that I think, and even some of the things that maybe they're not completely fully there in fruition yet. But let me tell you, it's expanding and it's growing, and you'll meet a whole bunch of people who are just there to support you. They're to just really guide you and just help you to be your most authentic, empowering self. And if that's you, I'd say click the link below and come and join us. And, you know, this is basically the whole vessel as to why Scarlett and I make these Google Hangouts. It's the reason why I
Mhm.
started really looking up a whole lot of quotes too, and just sharing them and just wanting to spread love and light and starting to tap into our inner purpose, and seeing that there's something bigger than yourself, and sharing those things. And so I don't know where you're at, um, but just remember to give your soul some truth serum. Feed your soul, feed your
Yes,
mind. Good
yes,
words.
yes, yes, yes. Um, if Beverly, this one was from this lady named Beverly Sills. You may be disappointed if you fail, but you are doomed if you don't try.
Hmm.
Because even like, so me and Melody, we've made like lots of commitments to ourselves this week, because we're at a place now where we shed a lot of our BS and just straight up said we are not going to do this to ourselves anymore. We deserve the life that we truly desire, and we're going to make things happen. And I can assure you, in a week's time, things will be happening, because we believe it to be so, and I know in my heart of hearts that we have the ability to do whatever we want.
Hmm.
Coming to that awareness and coming to those realizations is a powerful, powerful feeling. And um, and then Eleanor Roosevelt, she said, "Remember, no one can make you feel inferior without your consent." So really, that person that really, and somebody could say anything to you about anything you want to do. Let's say you do go ahead and you click that link below this video and you go ahead and you sign up, and then the next person that looks at you is all like, "Oh, that's so stupid. It seems like a pyramid scheme. That's a scam. You're wasting your money." And if you feel that that's real, the only person who made you feel that way was you. Because they may have thrown the words out there, but you don't have to accept it as truth at all. Because you know what? If somebody went ahead and told me that, and I would turn around and hit them with the, "Okay, so what are you doing that's so great right now?"
Ooh.
And a lot of times that's a beep, in your face. Because a lot of people who are very quick to judge you are also the people who are looking for something within themselves. And the reason why it's so easy for them to pick on you, whether or not they're at a certain place, there's something missing in them, and you going after your dreams makes them want to say something,
Hmm.
you know? And it's, and, right? Um, like, oh God, I can quote Tony Robbins all day. If you do what you've always done, you'll get what you've always gotten. So if you want more out of this life, guess what, everybody? You have to do more. You have to be more. You have to change. You have to grow, because it's either one of two things. We had talked about this in one of our other videos. I'm not too sure which one it was. If you're not growing, you're decaying. And we've made the decision that we're not going to decay anymore, because me and Melody currently have jobs that pay us pretty decent. And I mean, there's no real need, that we have, that we're, it's like our bills aren't unpaid. It's not, we're like we're struggling really hard, but at that same time our dreams are bigger than what we have right now. There's a lot more that we could do if we had the freedom that didn't keep me behind a counter, that didn't keep her in the sun for 12 hours. That kind of stuff, it's wear and tear on your body, but it's also the fact that we don't even get free choice. We live by somebody else's time. We live by somebody else's measure. If they tell her she's got to be there at 5 o'clock in the morning, guess what? She's up at like 3 getting ready, or 4 getting ready, out the door to be God knows where. And let me tell you, she lives in one part of the island, and sometimes if where her job is on the other side, she's got to go there. Just in the same way my job is like halfway across the island, and I go there every single day. It's a lot of gas. It's a lot of mileage on my car, and it's actually a lot of time because I'm the kind of person who likes to be early everywhere. My motto is I'd rather be an hour early than a minute late. And I literally always like my really close friends who really know me know I'm like hardcore about being on time everywhere. But except for when I'm with Melody, apparently, because I sleep until like 5 minutes before we're
I
supposed to be somewhere.
don't know how you slept through that crazy ass alarm. That was, I was like
I,
couldn't go to sleep. How can
but
you
the
do
worst part is that she woke up and she turned my alarm off and went back to sleep instead of waking me up because I would have
that?
wanted to wake up.
Oh boy. Yeah.
But I mean,
Good
it,
times.
yeah, good times, and I don't know how to say their name. I think it's Ayn Rand, and it's the question isn't who's going to let me, it's who's going to stop me. And I just like all of these quotes just like fire me up, and it's just like literally who is gonna stop me? The only person who can truly stop me is me. People always talk about their limitations and, oh, I don't have money to do this and I don't have money to do that. Okay, so let's say and God forbid any of this would ever happen. Let's say your closest family member or your closest friend, if you don't have any family, was in jail, or actually no, better, was dying, and the only way that they could survive is to to pay $5,000 for a surgery, and because there's no medical insurance, it's got to be paid upfront. Let's say there's no risk, it's guaranteed. You know, you would find a way to come up with that 5 grand no matter what it took. And people don't realize that you can do the same thing for things you think aren't that important, right? You can go ahead and start a business for less than $5,000, and it can change your life and make you $250,000 in less than 2 years, like our friend and mentor Kiala and I.
Or even $1 million or two or three, you know?
And of course, results not typical. She'll also have the income disclosure list below this video as well. It's The results are not typical because they chose not to be typical. They chose the path less traveled. They chose to make the decisions that aren't always easy to make. Go outside of yourself and do the things you gotta do to get what you really want. All right? And then because a lot of our products are all about learning and growing, and Sir Claus Mosier says, education costs money, but so does ignorance.
Yeah. Ain't that the truth? Sorry. Oh, that's so true.
You think about, right, people, you must be like, oh, okay, what are you talking about? I'll give you a really good example. Like, my sister-in-law made this comment about, and it's so funny because me and my brother, we both do this. Like, my brother bought this hideous pair of shorts that she said he's probably never ever gonna wear, but he bought it because it was on sale for $3 whole. And the fact that it was a pair of shorts for $3, he couldn't pass it up because it was so cheap. And I'm not gonna lie, I do that all the time. I'm just like, I pick up random things. I'm like, oh wow, that's so cheap, and I buy it, and I don't need it, but I'm just like, yeah. And then I end up not ever using it, and one of two things: it'll go spoil, or be past the expiration date, or it's kind of sketchy, so I don't actually want to use it. Boom.
Oh.
That's wasted money that I could have put into my business, and I could have done something with that, And I mean, like, literally, it's not just going after your dreams that cost you money. Also, the ignorance of not going after your dreams costs you money too. People don't realize that they can throw their money away. Literally, okay. You look at going to Vegas. And I will admit I am a gambler. Like, full blown, catch me at 2 o'clock in the morning sitting on the slot machine. Why? Because I like the bells and whistles. I literally like the lights, and it's so exciting for me. And I can literally go and just keep sticking money in there and sticking money in there, and that's straight up ignorant. And most people don't realize that they treat this business that we are a part of, Empower Network, like it's a lottery. Like, they just show up and then boom, you're going to have money. No, it's a business.
All these lights, ding, 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 ding.
Right? If you are looking for a lottery, you're better off going to Vegas and just sticking the odds are better there than they are, here. But you look at all the people who are succeeding in our business. Like one of our favorite mentors is Ray Kakuta, and he is an amazing, amazing, amazing guy. And he's had some trials and tribulations, man. And like listening to his story, okay, I'll give you. My husband was a non-believer. And he was very skeptical until he heard Ray's story, and he had to listen to the replay of that specific call 2 times because he was so moved by Ray's story. That's how impactful that story was. And you can learn more about them, once you join our team, because they're all a part of our same little team that we have here on Empower Network. And connecting with those guys is a very powerful thing because, they're willing to help you learn and expand. Me and Melody are very blessed to be under a group of leaders who actually care.
Yeah.
And it's amazing to be a part of something where it's not even just about trying to make money. Like I had said this I think before, and I can't tell you how many of the leaders don't really talk about the money aspect of it all. It's really about the personal development and growth of yourself. Because Kala actually just said this on that webinar I watched earlier today. He said he does tell us that, work as hard on yourself as you do in your business, or work harder on yourself than you do in your business, because actually the amount of change that happens within you will only have a positive effect on how you actually run your business. Mm-hmm. I can tell you what, me and Melody are not the same Melody and Scarlett we were a month ago.
No.
Because we've grown. Or even the month before that, and me and Melody had just really started to get to know each other in June, and it rolled into July, and then here we are today. We're like besties.
Oh, dang. It was only 2 months.
Yeah. June, July, August, and we're in September now. That's 4 months.
I'm like, gosh, I obviously don't know my months. Ignorance.
That'll be $2, please.
Yeah, but I mean, I definitely think that and you really can't reiterate enough that your inner world creates your outer world. Your thinking habits create your results,
Oh, and tell them the Dalai Lama one. The Dalai Lama.
I love this one. Hold on. I don't know it per verbatim, so let me just type in here. Oh, this is my favorite.
I love that one.
Okay. And he's an amazing man, must I say, because can you imagine just being like such a peaceful leader in a peaceful place of your country, and then getting it like overtaken by these violent people who are killing them, raping them, doing all kinds of crazy stuff, and he still demonstrated peace throughout all of that. And not only that, but he just continued to just choose to be bigger, choose the higher thought. And so this is one of my favorite ones from him. Such a great example of peace. The Dalai Lama, when asked about what surprised him most about humanity, answered man, because it sacrifices his health in order to make money. Then he sacrifices money to recuperate his health. And then he is so anxious about the future that he does not enjoy the present. The results being that he does not live in the present or the future. He lives as if he is never going to die, and then dies having never really lived.
That's some good stuff. That is some Good stuff. And you think about it, like I had said earlier, these are moments in time, and it doesn't even matter when that quote was actually written down on a piece of paper or when it was actually noted by him. It still resonates with whatever happens today. You look at, okay, so Leonardo da Vinci, as we all know, is way long time ago. Way long time ago. Leonardo da Vinci. But he, even at that moment in time, back in those times, he made a quote saying, I have been impressed with the urgency of doing. Knowing is not enough. We must apply. Being willing is not enough. We must do. Talking about, you can't just learn something and not do it, right? Me and Melody are really famous for doing that. We're like, we got to learn everything, and once we know everything, we'll do it.
Until now.
Until now. So now
Cancel.
and now we're ready to just go and fall flat on our face, and hey, you know what? At least we can stand up, say, hey, that didn't work, let's try something else.
Yeah.
It's really funny. I was just watching Step Brothers, and they're getting ready to go on their dual interviews, and they're dressed in tuxedos, and I can just see me and Melody doing this. We're like wearing tuxedos, and we'll walk into some office and be like, we're ready to fuck shit up, and just start flipping people's clipboards and pushing things down.
You like guacamole? This is how we do it. I grew up having a bunk bed. Stage.
You know what? No, funny story about bunk beds, right? I used to sleep on the top bunk, and for some reason I didn't have a guardrail, and I would roll off of my bed.
I did the same exact thing. I remember waking up. Okay, I was grown. I was in high school. We still had a bunk bed. And then, because they're like pretty nice bunk beds, they're pretty expensive. So it was like this, and I was up at the top of the guardrail, like pretty much the ladder got all jaggedy, so I'd like kind of hop on and off of it. But yeah, I remember rolling. Good.
And you know what? I remember waking up and just being all like looking around, and I crawled right back up the ladder, went back to sleep. Like, it didn't even faze me. I didn't like cry or anything, and I was little. Like, when we had bunk beds, I must have been at least like less than 7 years old. And anyway, getting sidetracked. Jamie Paolinetti. And half of these people, I have no idea who or what they are, but like I just look up inspirational quotes all the time, and it just amazes me, and it always makes me want to know a little bit more about people. But I mean, there'll be a time and a place for me to learn about all that stuff. But she said, limitations live only in our minds, but if we use our imaginations, our possibilities become limitless. And that's all what we're about. Attaining our limitless potential. Tapping into it.
Ooh.
That's Melody's way of that one hit her. That one hit her.
Yeah.
Another one. Bill Cosby says in
Sorry.
order. What?
I just said Jello. Because you remember he was the Jello man? Okay.
Yes.
Sorry, Bill Cosby.
In order to succeed, your desire for success should be greater than your fear of failure. Which is true, because people who let their fear control them won't succeed at all. Because there's always going to be a limitation, and you'll only be able to grow so much, or you'll only be able to do so much all the way up until you hit that limitation where fear kicks in and says, that's your stopping point. Now I decided I was going to Spartan kick fear out from in front of me and just be like, this is my life. Kick fear right out of there. Just be like, boom, kick them into that pit and say, I'm not going to be afraid anymore. Who am I to deny myself to the world? I want people to be like, oh, did you hear that quote Scarlett made? It's amazing. And you know what? I will. I'll make some quotes. and I will post them. I'll post them all over the place and be like, I made that, and it'll be funny because it'll be something I heard from somebody else and be like, Nah, girl, that's my quote. And I'll be like, Oh well,
Oh,
I wrote it down first. I wrote it down first.
my germs.
My
Um,
quote.
my quote. Okay, and that's totally from Scary Movie 2, Handsome, Ginger Hands. But yeah, I think, I don't know, you feel like that concludes our truth serum for the soul. Is getting kind of silly billy, but that's okay because we're letting our truth show too. And so, huh, love and light, and love on yourself, choose yourself, accept yourself, and when you need inspiration, go go Google some quotes there. I mean, go to tinybuddha.com, go to Forbes.com. There's Brainy Quote. There's so much like great things out there too. So
Like if you're just feeling some sort of way, just Google it. Literally, just be like, sad quotes. Like if you're feeling like a sad girl, go look up sad girl quotes. But if you really want to be inspired and motivated, go and type in inspirational quotes and bro. There's people who make their own personal list and put them up there, and there's people who do, like whole websites dedicated to just inspirational quotes. There's people who have websites that show all the different kind of quotes. And just really just don't allow yourself to be bound by the box that you put yourself in.
yeah, word. So we love you, love and light. Aroha.